Imagine you're in a developing country with rapidly growing energy demand, and the grid is failing you and the people around you. Blackouts are common, the infrastructure can't keep up, and the usual energy solutions like solar, wind, and coal just aren't meeting the need. But on the horizon, there's something both old and new. And what could this reimagined technology be? Small modular reactors, or SMRs. These are nuclear reactors that are built in a factory and transported to their final location. I've spent years in the energy industry working on projects that strengthen grid infrastructure, and I've researched both the benefits and the complexities of small modular reactors. And today I'll walk you through 3 key points: how SMRs differ from traditional nuclear reactors, the economic and environmental impacts they bring, and what the future looks like for their global adoption. In his book, Small Modular Reactors, Nuclear Fab Future, author Daniel T. Ingersoll notes the difficulties of the expanding energy needs of developing countries, especially those who have exhausted their native resources, and how SMRs may rise to the challenge. So first we'll look at why SMRs are different. Traditional nuclear reactors are massive projects. They frequently take decades in approval processes, permitting, and construction. And we don't always have decades to wait. And small modular reactors aren't brand new ideas. They are new in large-scale implementation. According to Joanne Lau in an article from November 4th, 2021, and written for the International Atomic Energy Agency, the advantages of a small modular reactor in comparison to a traditional nuclear reactor include savings in both cost and time to construct, along with extended timelines between refueling. Once approved, an SMR can be constructed in as little as 24 months, far shorter than traditional nuclear reactors. But the physical build is dramatically faster. Another major difference is location. Large nuclear reactors must be built far from population centers and require extensive on-site infrastructure, thousands of workers, and long-term construction, staging, and huge support systems. SMRs flip that. They're built in factories, transported modularly, and assembled on-site with far less disruption to the local communities. Because of their smaller size and increased safety features, they do not require the same distance from populated areas, opening the door to serving grid-strained communities directly. And next, let's talk about economic impacts. SMRs are not only energy solutions, they're job creators. The Rolls-Royce SMR program in the UK, for example, has shown that a single SMR program can support up to 8,000 jobs over the life of the project. And because these reactors are modular, those jobs are spread across factories, supply chains, and installation sites, rather than being concentrated in one location. To put that in perspective, traditional nuclear reactor plants can require more than 9,000 on-site workers during peak construction. But nearly all of those jobs disappear once the plant is complete. SMRs spread out the opportunity and make it more sustainable. Environmentally, SMRs also contribute. They produce less overall waste, and they also require refueling less frequently than full-scale reactors, with some SMRs going their entire life cycle without being refueled. They're not perfect. There will still be nuclear waste, but they offer a far more consistent and cleaner energy source than coal. Pairing SMRs with renewables like wind and solar, communities can reduce their dependence on fossil fuel plants while still maintaining reliable and on-demand power. And last, what's next for SMRs? While the United States is still working through permitting and licensing, several other nations have already moved ahead. From their article on November 13th, 2025, the BBC News reporter Gareth Lewis highlighted the UK's Rolls-Royce program and the planned SMR site at Wilfa, and how it could bring 3,000 jobs and billions in investment. Canada has also already approved development of a multi-unit SMR. China and Russia already have SMRs in commercial operations. The ACP 100 in China began operating in 2023, and Russia's floating SMR, the academic Lomonosov, has been online since 2020. These early adopters are showing that SMRs can be commercially viable. A single SMR unit isn't economically competitive on its own, but as more units are manufactured, costs fall, supply chains mature, and the viability of the technology rises, much like wind turbines and solar panels did in their early years. In conclusion, small modular reactors are poised to become the next chapter in nuclear energy. They bring economic benefits, environmental advantages, and the potential to deliver reliable power to communities that desperately need it. There are still hurdles, particularly around regulation and cost, but the momentum is building worldwide. And here's the bottom line. If we as a global community are going to take serious the fight about climate change, then expanding our idea of clean energy to include nuclear power, not in the place of solar or wind, but alongside them, is crucial. Because the future of energy isn't just about picking one solution, it's about building the right mix, and SMRs may be the tool that helps get us there.